Kierney Tierney to Manchester City for the third time in, I think, 2 consecutive seasons and transfer windows. Kierney Tierney has been linked to Man City, and it looks like there might be something because there is no smoke without fire. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys? And where you're watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching guys for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. So today is really a very good day. We started off with Victor Osimhen's story, and here we come with the Kierney story to Manchester City being reported by Ekrem Konar. Sorry, not Ekrem Konar, the Footy Insider, one of the sources that always get us news when we are really into the transfer window, close to the transfer window, or even after the transfer window. Now, we are also talking about Bakary Sagna has also gone ahead and really given Kierney Tierney advice on what to do to see to it that he really finds himself into a position of really staying at Arsenal and obviously play the game of football and out-compete Zinchenko. And then the prospect and plans of Arsenal after qualifying for the Champions League have been revealed by a very good source coming in from the Telegraph known as Sam J. Dean. So let's get to the big story that is coming in from the Footy Insider. They're telling us that Man City are looking into a deal for centre-back Kierney Tierney, with Aston Villa and Newcastle also interested in the 25-year-old left-back. It's not the very first time that we've had a story of Kierney Tierney linking him to Manchester City. Even last summer, even I think March last year was really so much sounding, you know, because even teams like Real Madrid were so much linked to Kierney Tierney. Reason being, Marcelo had found himself out of the team and he had really called it quits with Real Madrid, and he was away, and Real Madrid wanted to get in a replacement for the player. And I think they've gotten a left back in the Spanish La Liga, and I think that ended the talk of Kierney Tierney to Real Madrid. But when you look at what Kierney Tierney offers you when he comes on the field of play, he's really a very fantastic player. Why? Solid defensively, and I think going forward is good, and his offensive play is really great. But the problem is simple. One, Zinchenko has gone ahead to really give a lot of a lot of spices and ingredients into that left back position of a team called Arsenal. So Kierney Tierney has found himself onto the bench and has fallen into the pecking order of Arsenal. And you will sometimes call in for what we call favoritism at Man City, because Mikel Arteta has gone ahead to show to it us that even when Zinchenko is performing badly, he's not willing to drop him. It's not only Zinchenko, but there is even Thomas Partey. When Partey is performing badly, he's not willing to drop him. Granit Xhaka, he's not willing to drop him. Bukayo Saka, he's not willing to drop him, you know. And you ask yourself why he used to take off Jesus on the field of play certain games, yet he would have gone ahead to take off players like Bukayo Saka and very many others, and then bring that of Trossard into the field of play. So it shows you that favoritism is really part of the side of Arsenal, and this time round, Man City look like they want to revenge. We gave you 2 players, and you were into the title race. That is Jesus and Zinchenko. Now we want to go in for your players too, and we want Kierney Tierney at first. So if you're Kierney Tierney and your agent, would you love to go to Man City? The big answer is yes. Why? Man City is really having space for Kierney Tierney. I think Kierney Tierney is really a better left back than Nathan Ake, and the manager of Man City, Pep Guardiola, doesn't look at Nathan Ake as a left back. No, he wants him to be played onto the left side of the central defense, because it makes it easier for his team to pass well off the back and obviously defend into those left channels of the pitch. So when you get in Kierney Tierney, all will be great, because Cancelo was the player that used to be played onto the left side, though he was really playing with a right foot, but he fell out with Pep Guardiola, and looks like it's end of days between Pep Guardiola and João Cancelo. So Kierney Tierney will have playing time at Man City. So I think he might find himself there. And will Arsenal sell Kierney Tierney to Man City? That's a very big ask, you know. But To me, I think if at all they can get them close to £50 million, I think Arsenal can sell Kierney Tierney to Man City. They can sell him there. Why? Kierney Tierney believes that he cannot get his position back at Arsenal and he cannot really play regularly as he used to play way back, because even if next season they're going to be playing in the Champions League, that won't guarantee him lots of starts into the Champions League or in the Premier League, because Arteta will won't on any day go in for Zinchenko, go in for Kierney Tierney ahead of Zinchenko in the Champions League match when Zinchenko is really fully fit. The only way Kierney Tierney will come in through is when Zinchenko is not fit. And I think Kierney Tierney will find himself playing a lot into the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, of which they only come once in a while. So I think for a player who is 25 years of age, if at all you want to really play at a high level and go out and really win trophies and get improved as a left back, I think if Man City coming through, that's the best way for you to go. And secondly, when you look at Arsenal, they might be looking in for others, other players to come in through and really play into that position of Kierney Tierney. So looks like Kierney Tierney is not convinced, and I don't think he's this kind of player who's going to sit down and really say, all right, I'm comfortable with Arsenal and I'm just okay with everything, let me see what Arteta gives me up. But that won't be the case. He'll be pushing in for a start. That's why you see to it that all news are in there for Kierney Tierney, linking him to Newcastle, Aston Villa, Monaco, Juventus, and very many other huge teams. So I think if Newcastle goes straight in for Kierney Tierney, they'll win the battle. I think Kierney Tierney will choose Man City over Newcastle and Aston Villa. But Aston Villa and Newcastle are also some of the teams that are really vying for the European positions. And to me, it comes to my understanding that Newcastle might play in the Champions League, and when they're in the Champions League, they can really convince Kierney Tierney to go there and play for them, and that will be a very huge boost for Kierney Tierney, because at Newcastle, Ban can't come close to him. Even if it's target, this lad is one of the best left backs into the league in the previous 2-3 seasons. Though this season he has not been able to play a lot of games because of injury and because of Zinchenko having taken that place. But Bakary Sagna, formerly at Arsenal and then went to Man City too, has gone ahead and really told Kierney Tierney the following: I wouldn't leave the club. He needs to fight to play and come back into the manager's plan. He's part of what's becoming one of the biggest clubs in England. So where is he going to? Of course, you want to be able to play, but sometimes you need to be out of your comfort, and he's out of his comfort zone now. So it's time to fight, not just leave and give up. What's the point of going somewhere where you know that you are up, that you are going to start no matter what, and you are going to play? You are not going to progress in that environment. That's a very bad lie, because even Bakary Sagna left Arsenal and went for Man City. That's it. So I think that's really a very bad advice from Bakary Sagna coming into Kierney Tierney. I think Kierney Tierney is a player who wants to be playing ball game in, game out, and you wouldn't come out and take the advice of a player, of the ex-player of Arsenal's Bakary Sagna, because for him, he even left Arsenal when they needed him most, and he went to Man City, and that's where he really went ahead to find himself getting improved. So Sagna said Zinchenko is giving Kierney Tierney a challenge to fight for his place, so he has to train harder and get back to his very best level. So he gets his opportunity and then he has to take it. If he does that, he won't be spending so much time on the bench. I had the same choice when I left Arsenal, because I was playing in the comfortable position. I could have stayed, and yes, I was playing. If you want to try and get better and you want to challenge yourself, you need to be out of your comfort zone. But there is a lie of Bakary Sagna. The reason as to why he left Arsenal for Man City was not because of competition. It was all in the name of money. That's it. They had given him a lot of money that Arsenal couldn't give him, so he crossed from Arsenal to Man City. And I think for Kierney Tierney, it's not all about money. It's all about playing time. Talking about him working hard, what does Kierney Tierney has to prove? Nothing. The fact is, there is a player known as Zinchenko who gives Arsenal a lot of reference and possession when they're really playing, and Kierney Tierney can't offer such to Arsenal. So as it stands, I think Kierney Tierney should leave. I don't want him to listen to the advice of Bakary Sagna. That's it. I know Mikel Arteta will come in and sit him down and tell him, please, this time we're going to be playing in 4 competitions. And after Kierney Tierney will tell him, please, even last year we've been playing in 4 competitions. But you've come out and showed me that you are having Zinchenko ahead of me every time. Even when Zinchenko has bad games, you bring him on ahead of me. So what's my reason to staying at this club? It's better I left and you continued with your player that you want and maybe getting someone else. The good thing is that you're going to get good money out of me and you can easily get a backup for me. Sorry, a replacement for me and a backup for Zinchenko as far as you want. So to me, if I'm Kierney Tierney, I'm on the next bus as soon as the summer opens up. I think his agent really want to see his client play very, very many games of football. And I think if I told you Kierney Tierney, that's what you'll be vying for season in, season out, to go on and really play for a side known as Man City or Newcastle, because they're all going to be playing in the Champions League. So let's wait and see how that pans out. But Mikel Arteta is yet to make a decision on who he wants to keep and who he wants to go at Arsenal. Now, we all know that Arsenal has already gone ahead to qualify for the Champions League because they're having 75 points. And even if Manchester United, I think Manchester United and Newcastle will only hit like 75 and Arsenal will have to win other games. And I think they've already qualified for the Champions League. Mathematically, they have. So, as it stands, when they go to the Champions League, people have been thinking about Arsenal spending a lot of money, you know, to bring in players. But Sam Jedin of The Telegraph has gone ahead and told us the following, that next season will be Arsenal's first in the Champions League since 2016-2017 campaign, and their qualification for the competition is said to be worth £50 million. 50 million pounds. At least with that figure, then raising depending on their progress. The increased revenue will not all be converted into transfer fees for new signings, as the club's wage bill will increase as a result of Champions League related clauses in their first team contract. So all of you who have been really thinking that Arsenal are going to go ahead and really spend big in the summer because of them qualifying for the Champions League, you might find a reason to really sit a little bit back and rethink about what the season is going to be about, because Arsenal found themselves in a position of really not paying full salaries of their players, because these players have not been playing the Champions League. Now, most clubs take a 25% reduction on the weekly wages of these players if at all they are not in the Champions League. Now they're going back to the Champions League and the salaries are going to increase. But I think Arsenal has already been spending like a team playing the Champions League. A team that has been spending on average £140 million per season ever since Mikel Arteta came in through. That is almost the same spend that Man City has always been making. But Arsenal just has to go ahead and really make some huge signings again, you know, because this time around when you're going to the Champions League, you are going to sign in players that City, Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, and very many other teams are really competing in for. The likes of Declan Rice, Caicedo, Jude Bellingham, Dusan Vlahovic, Victor Osimhen. That is the caliber of players that you have to be competing for. So that calls in Arsenal to spend huge. And when you look at just the 2 midfielders that Arsenal need to buy, they might cost them £160 million. That is Declan Rice and Moise Caicedo. They have to buy a decent right-footed central defender. They have to buy a right attack midfielder with a left foot, and they have to bring in a centre forward, provided Balogun is not tipped or really approved by Mikel Arteta to stay and play ball for a team of Arsenal. So I think Arsenal might see themselves spend close to £200 million. Why? If they've been spending £140 million on average per season ever since Mikel Arteta came in through, then they need to really lift it up to £200 million as they're in the Champions League, and their positions that are really lacking in quality that I've seen them capitulate towards the end of the season. So guys, your thoughts on Kierney Tierney to Man City are welcome in the comment section below. What do you think about Arsenal's next season plans? However much in the Champions League, the money won't really increase a lot on the expenditure in the transfer window because of the salaries or wage bills that are really going to increase massively as these players are really playing into the Champions League. I sign out for now. See you later. Rokani David remains my name, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. I'm out, my mate.